This is I think it might be too much show because this is like the dream team of Philly right now. So like if you're into fighting, we see you guys. You know what I mean? You guys are there in the highest way. But if you're in Philly, everybody's talking about how you guys are the team you want to be in, how everybody's supportive of each other, how you have both come together and kind of created the perfect like equation for these fighters to be very well rounded. And it's showing with Pat Sabatini, with Sean Brady, and the list goes on and on. So I know how you guys kind of came together, but can you tell me the first moment that you guys met each other and how that happened?
Yeah.
I got cursed out.
No, that was actually after. One day, of course, I already had an amateur, some pro guys.
Okay.
In Philly, and then man, this Asian dude shows up to train, and I see him like working on the middle, like very good takedowns. On the wall, he was having some trouble. Very heavy hands. And I'm looking at him, and what surprised me was his leg movement, the way he would cut angles. And I'm like, man, that's my dream. I'm trying to make... Remember, I'm not a striking coach.
Right.
What I have, and the information that I had as striking was guys like Mark Delagrati, some boxing coach that I work in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
And I try to teach them what I learned from them, but I'm not a striking coach.
Right.
And I try to tell them that the future of the sport of MMA is the same leg movement that boxers used to use, with the different bays, with the same head movement, with body shots. So I'm trying to use that. Of course, they're not listening to me. They're like, yeah, you're a jiu-jitsu coach, you know?
Right.
I see Zurich, and I go, man, that kid is doing exactly what I want them to do. So after training, I go, yo, where do you train? And he goes, I'm like, where do you train? He's like, Coach John. I'm like, okay, where is Coach John? Under the L. I go, man, how am I gonna get information from this guy? And every time he's gonna say something, he goes, EFC. I'm like, can I talk to him? Yes. Do you have his number? I'm like, man, that's gonna be a difficult conversation. And I go, do you box? And he goes, box, no. I'm like, where do you train your leg movement? Where you train your hands? He goes, Coach John. I'm like, man. So he was actually in camp for a fight.
Okay.
It was like 2 or 3 weeks before his fight. So I told him, I said, is Coach John going to be on your corner when you fight? He goes, yes. I'm like, okay. Then I'm going to talk to Coach John there.
Yeah.
So when we came to Cage Fury, was the event that he was...
I think that was the night...
It was Cage Fury?
It was the night Sean became champion.
So...
Same night.
I'm there waiting to meet him. And I was like, when I'm going to see this guy? So I get there. He was holding pads for Zurich. And I go, motherfucker, finally I met you. So I came cursing. Yeah. And he goes, what the fuck is this? You should see his face. He almost punched me.
Yeah, I said, what's your problem? Like, why cursing me? Why are you cursing me out?
Because on my mind, I create the scene already I knew him.
You felt comfortable.
And I was exactly. And he's like, what the fuck is this guy? You know? So
I knew who he, of course, everybody knows who Daniel is.
Yeah.
But like, he was like, motherfucker. And I'm like, yo, like.
Whoa, settle down. Let's start this.
You're talking to old head, you know what I mean? And so he's like, why you don't come to my school? I'm like, I didn't know you wanted me to go to your school.
He's like, I've been studying you this whole time.
Yeah, I'm just minding my business, running my camp.
That's hilarious.
And then that night, we cornered Zurich, and I told him, I need someone like you to help me. You know, I need those guys to listen to me. They don't listen to me when I talk about striking. And man, please, if you can help me. He's like, yeah, of course. And then we start to work together since then.
I love it. That was a Saturday. Went to his school Monday, 11 o'clock, and it's been like 4 or 5 years, right? Like 4 years, 5 years.
Almost 5 years.
Wow. And how far you've come since that time.
We set a goal, you know?
Yeah.
There's no money involved. It's just brothers.
Make each other better. Make everybody better.
Brothers, you know, I got your back, you got my back, and just all about the team. We're all about the team. You know?
What happened what was good is that as a jiu-jitsu fighter and jiu-jitsu teacher, we praise, especially in Brazil, we praise a lot of loyalty, you know, friendship. We always, like, my family always talk about that. It's not the martial art itself. It's not just
more of a family thing.
Exactly. It's not just a fighting system. It's something beyond that. It's like most of my friends, if not all my friends, I met through jiu-jitsu. And they met their friends through jiu-jitsu. So it becomes like a cult.
Yeah.
That's a reality. It's a lifestyle. So when I met John, even though he came from MMA, he had the same mentality. And it's like, we don't care what happened. Like, we always gonna, you know, have our backs, and we're gonna try to teach the students that.
Yeah.
All of them understand that, especially now that they see, you know, our bond.
Yeah.
But some guys come from other teams, and they right away they feel awkward and they leave
Really?
if they don't learn with us what we're doing here.
Because you have to adapt the lifestyle more than even.
You have to be like us. You
Yeah.
know? Not like you have to be a loyal person. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Why
so
would I spend my time with you away from my kids, our families, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, you're going to use us for 2 months, and then we're never going to see you again.
Right.
What's
Nobody's
the point?
winning in that.
I don't care if you're the top UFC champion or the guy at the lowest regional league. I don't care. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time with you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I came from old school, and in my time, only jiu-jitsu, not MMA. If someone leave our team, if someone left, we'll bash that guy. Like, he'll become our enemy in Brazil. We'll see him on the street, we'll fight. That's how horrible it was to switch your team from another team, or switch your coach to another coach. So I came from this culture. Okay, I'm not gonna change my mind because I'm in US.
Right.
Okay, I got here and I see people jumping, training everywhere. I'm like, not on my team. No, no. If you don't want to be here, you don't be here. You can go train somewhere else. But you're not gonna be training there and here. So even though we cross training with other gyms that train with us, like Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini was with NPR before he met me, but they were friends and they were learning jiu-jitsu together. You know, like, of course the generations, another generation, I'm a lot older than them.
Yeah.
And then when he started to train with me, they already had the jiu-jitsu mentality, but they were like young kids training and, you know, having fun. And then, okay, now they have someone that they can trust to teach them jiu-jitsu, to put their name out there.
It's like Daniel's Academy is like the umbrella, and we're all under that umbrella.
Right.
Yes.
Like the special,
Yeah,
the
you
specialties.
have Web, NPR,
Right.
Eddie's Gym.
So, but they're all
under his umbrella.
That's a beautiful.
They're all gyms related to our team.
I'm sorry. I mean, is he completely in the shot when he leans out? I don't want to lose you halfway.
If you want to move it a little bit more, just when he leans. But
Do you mind doing it real quick, just so I don't fuck with him? I keep on seeing you leaning. I'm like, if he's leaning out of frame, this is gonna mess everything up. Just make sure that that both of them are.
And I think Eddie just texted me that he's outside too.
Let's bring him up.
Okay.
But I'll check. Go ahead.
Cool.
Maybe he's here.
How did you get here?
Who opened the door for
He
you?
has ways. He has ways.
Sir, you need masks to come in.
The last time I said that to somebody, I think it was Rob Haydak. He was like, "We're all vaccinated." I'm like, "All right, not bad."
I got the vaccine.
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated too. That looks nice. All right. Now
If I knew you coming, I would ask you to bring coffee.
How you been, brother? How's life, man? It's you, how's life?
Yo, stop interrupting our session, man.
Now we gotta start all over again.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Here,
No, I
here.
just had one of those.
It's delicious.
I had one of
Daniel,
those rain.
come on, man. It's some Puerto Rican shit, bro.
It is.
What do you got? A cortadito in there?
Yeah. Look, look, look. Watch
Cortadillo
this.
in your
Holy
pocket.
cow, that's
Ooh,
good.
Nah, keep it. You got it, coach. How you been?
That's good. Can I keep the cup here?
Yeah. There you go. Looking
Now we're
good.
gonna start the struggle with the mic again.
My bad, guys.
When I have an overdose of caffeine here.
You'll be fine. You're Brazilian.
So where we stop?
We were
talking about the
talking
gyms,
about loyalty.
The gyms
And
that
the umbrella.
cross training with us.
Yeah. You can start talking. I'll fix this mic while you talk.
Yeah. So like I was saying, the people that cross train with us, they belong to our team. They don't come from other teams. And look, reality is that if the person want to come and train with us, okay, to try our team, I have to let them come and try and train with us to see if they like it or not. But after, let's say, the guy comes for a week, and then the second week and the third week, I said, yo, you can't be training here and somewhere else. Do you like our training? Yeah. Do you want to switch it? No. Then I love you. I'll cheer for you when you don't fight my guys, but you're not going to belong to our team.
So when I see all these pictures where it's like a ridiculous amount of people in one frame, my biggest question is always, how do you give so much like dedication and attention to each one of those guys? And how do you measure their growth, their success, and how do you keep on evolving?
Right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. We put Eddie with a regular student sometime.
Right.
With a guy that's never fought before.
Right.
You know, we believe in if we keep the new guys with the new guys, it's two of us. Sometimes there's 40, 50 of them in one class. So it's if you're about the team, you're going to help the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't care if you're Sean Brady, Pat, Eddie, Zurich, or Joe Blow. You're going to help each other.
Right.
And if
you're
you
going to learn
with
from
this
each
new
other.
student, don't say anything and just work.
I forget who it was that was telling me too that sometimes you learn valuable things from the young guys too, or the people coming up because they challenge you to.
Gracie said that, you know. Yeah. He's always learning from his new students as much as they learn from him. Right. It's in their family, it's in their blood, you know. And where I'm from is the same way. Where I come from, my background and how I grew up is if you're not loyal, you don't make it far.
So we jump right into it, but in a short way, I want to try to kind of get how you get to Philly, and you growing up. Did you grow up in Philly?
Yeah.
Okay, so like those two stories before we even get into, I know you come from the family history. I'm not sure about your background as far as family goes, but how do you get to the point where you're in Philly and now you're like getting into that MMA world or into the fighting world?
Man, I was all over because reality is when I came to US, I love my country. And I came to US not to live here. I came to US to train with my cousin Renzo, fight in Japan, fight Pride, and go back to Brazil. That's what I used to do. I was married there, and at one point coming to train, like I was not married anymore, and I met my ex-wife in New York.
Okay.
And then I start to stay here more than I was staying in Brazil. Still training, fighting, going back to Brazil, but I was staying, instead of 3 months, I was staying like 5, 6 months.
This
1
New York?
year.
In New York?
In New York,
okay.
Yeah, in New York. And at one point, I fell in love and I stayed.
Okay.
And Renzo helped me, give me a job at the academy, teaching there. And then I moved my life to US in New York. But even though I was living in New York, I hate it. I didn't want to live in New York. And I was always thinking like, well, we have to go back to Brazil. We have to go back to Brazil. And we had 2 daughters and we went to Brazil.
Okay.
Twice. Guess what? Didn't work out. The second time, I said, man, where are we going to go to US now? I left Renzo's academy. We already give out our apartment. Where are we going to go? And she goes, well, my father is inviting us to come to Philly because he has a house behind his building. And he said that we can stay there until we decide where we're going to go.
Have you ever been to Philly at that point? Ever?
Just to visit him.
Okay.
And it was Fishtown.
Before it was Fishtown?
Yeah. I remember every time I will come to his house and I will go, what the heck are your father doing here?
Right.
And she goes, I told him to move. I'm like, I would look around. I'm like, man, this is bad.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I told him. So by the time we moved to Philly, Fishtown was becoming Fishtown.
Yeah.
It was not that bad. I get there and like coffee shops.
Yeah,
and like,
the ship's hipster now.
Yeah, the hipsters walking on the street. I'm like, man, this actually don't feel dangerous anymore. And that's when we moved there. And she opened a antique store
Okay.
and right in front of where we used to live, right in front of Balance, where Balance is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about right in front, okay. And on that time, her store started to do good, and I say, you know what? I already have some guys training with me. Man, you don't understand what I was doing. I was training those guys at Semper Fi at Julio Rosario school. So I would jump on the L train, what was not good on that time, and I'll go all the way to Frankfurt Station. Julio pick me up and bring me to Semper Fi. I'll teach the MMA fighters, and right after I'll teach a jiu-jitsu class, and I'll come back to Fishtown. And that was for, like, I don't know, about a year. So I didn't have my school yet, and we start to put our guys to fight. They crushed everyone. My fighters start to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was, okay, I think I'm doing good here. I'm going to open a school for myself.
That was when, like 2012, is that right? Or
2012, 2013.
Okay.
2012.
okay.
And that's when I call Rob and I said, yo, I want to open a school. Like, do you want it? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then we end up opening the school on American Street, what was worse than Fishtown.
Of course.
I remember people were scared to come to
Now
train
American
me.
is beautiful,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, now are you kidding me?
Now, like, they have like shit in the middle, like all
Yeah,
pretty trees and
it's
stuff.
changing.
Yeah.
But on that time, people were afraid of coming with me. But I didn't care because I only just want to train my MMA team. It's not that I wanted to create a jiu-jitsu school.
Right.
Because on my mind, I was not going to live in Philly. And things start to get better and start to grow. And I said, you know what? I'm going to keep going. At one point, I get a proposal to move to Massachusetts.
Okay.
And on that time, the proposal was irresistible. I had to go. And I went. And even though I told them, I said, look, Mark Delagrati, I already told him that I'm moving there. I already told him that I'm going to bring my team to do camps at City of Tong. And, you guys can come and train with me. It's not that I'm going to abandon you.
Right. I just got to relocate.
Yeah, some of them came.
Okay.
Some didn't. Sean Brady came.
Okay.
Jonathan Webb came. There was some other fighters that came to do camps with me in Massachusetts, but not all of them. And I lost some good fighters that went where else because of their choice. Not that I didn't offer them a choice of a place to train, but at one point I was there for 2 years and I didn't like the way things was happening, and I said I'm going to come back to Philly. And then I called them and I said, I'm coming back to Philly. Please don't leave yet. We're going to start this whole thing again. Mm-hmm. And the year that I came back to Philly was actually the year that I met John. So everything came together. I believe in spirit. I believe in destiny.
Yep.
And I think destiny, put us together on the right time, because I don't think, our team it's booming right now. And our amateur guys, they definitely have pro level. And some people are coming from big camps to come, just see what we're doing. Like, what are those guys doing? Let's go.
Right. So how do you start? So tell me about you growing up in Philly. What was that like?
It was like growing up in like a war zone. I saw my first dead body at like 9 years old, 9 years old. First dead body. So that tells you. You from Philly, right?
I'm from Puerto Rico, and I came here in '92. But we moved always, like, we went to South Jersey. But the family business was always in the Lehigh area, Hunting Park.
Yeah,
it's always been that. So I remember driving into the city a lot when there was no Fishtown. It was Kensington, basically, style.
Yeah, so growing up, it was just, you're in the hood. You got to defend yourself at all times. And it was rough. School fights, shootouts every day. They'll tell you, listen, don't come outside today because it's going to be a shootout.
Right.
And it was crazy.
So, like, what were you doing growing up? Was there any fighting?
Yeah, it was
in your life.
This gym on Randolph Street that every kid in that hood went there. $20 a month.
Boxing?
Boxing.
Yeah.
And you just go there, you train, they make you run up and down the steps 30 times. You run from the gym, 2 miles, come back. So you see all these kids every afternoon. And you go there, box, they put you on a heavy bag. It was no like one-on-one. A lot of boxing gyms don't have that one-on-one unless you're like a top fighter. So it was something to do, fighting. But in school, the street, always.
That wasn't the spot that ended up being the Willie Torres.
It is Willie Torres.
That's the first boxing gym I went to.
Yeah. Yeah, but every kid
So
in the hood goes
I
there.
would go. I went for a couple months only
I
because
have a student that his stepfather for a while was
so a guy would pick me up. I wasn't driving at that time. He would pick me up from my pop's office and drive me there. Drop me off. I would do the whole stair. That's what I would run up and down the
They
stairs.
still do it?
It was well, I don't know.
When I did
this was a while ago.
When I did it, they had us do the stairs.
And there was like 2 or 3 punching bags, a ring right against the windows.
Yeah.
And there was like 2 guys who looked legit, and everybody else was just like, the kids were running around the block and stuff like that. That's funny when you said that.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, all right. So then, did you start going there?
Yeah, so that was something to do, right? Then high school, I went through a couple high schools. I end up in a school called CEP, where it's like you get kicked out of the school district, you go there.
Okay.
And
That sounds like Brazil.
after that, it was like boot camp. So you get sentenced to like 182 days. And it was, I don't know the logic of that shit, because every kid that got kicked out of the school district went there. So you put
all the bad guys together.
badass kid in one school. So it was just fights all the time. And
was it fighting that got you there?
yeah. So like Edison High School, Alany, those type of schools. But there, it was hell in there. It was no windows. You had to face the wall. They had a focus room. I train a lawyer right now, an educational lawyer that fights against those schools.
Really? I don't know that.
They're like, those schools are not legal. And I'm like, well, I went there for a long time.
Right.
So went there. If you from this hood, you get enrolled on. If you from that hood, it was
almost
crazy.
like prison rules.
Yeah. So I was doing other stuff, and I always had like an anger problem since a kid. I was an angry ass kid all the time. Like if you speak to any one of my family members, they'll tell you my room was full of, like, every time. And I grew up angry.
Oh, full of holes?
Yeah, like a lot of stuff, like mom, dad stuff. And I was always into that fighting stuff, you know what I mean? And to that, I found this gym in Philly. It was back in like the early 2000s. It was only a couple gyms in Philly, like 2 or 3. And found this gym, started training there. They were going to like Virginia to compete. It wasn't nothing how it is now. Like these guys go on YouTube and they be like, yeah, I'm competing this day. This is the guy. I know what he eats.
Yeah. It's almost like they have tape to look over now.
Yeah. So started training. I was just training regular to get some anger out. I was doing some other stuff out there, training and work. I had my first kid when I was 17 years old. So
I thought I started early.
Yeah, I had my oldest I had him when I was 17, and so I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. So found that. Then I found myself training people more than training myself after a while.
Okay.
And one thing led to another. I started training people in my house. I was going to the gym. They couldn't afford it. That's one thing with Daniel and I. Like, of course, we make a living, but nothing is more satisfying than helping somebody that's fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen guys go through hell, and the only thing that got them back up was the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that always come out like, yo, man, like, why this guy? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, you don't know what that guy is going through. That. So I started training people at my house because they couldn't afford a gym. I'm like, listen, I'll go to a gym.
Right.
Like, try to sign up, and if you can't, this is the time that I can help you. So started doing that. Then after that, I was helping with fighters. And then the group got bigger. Now we can't fit in my garage. I'm like, yo, listen, I can't. I got to do other stuff. I can't train you all day. So that group got bigger. Then we went to a park. So I was training, working, and then helping guys. Like,
Yeah.
and even fighters too. Fighters will go, like, even if it's at a park. Fighters would just go to get the work. And after that, wintertime was coming. I'm like, listen, y'all gotta get a spot because I have training. I'm good.
Yeah.
Y'all have to get a spot. My intentions was never to own a gym. Like, I didn't want to own. I never thought this would happen. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So started training people. Park, wintertime came. We got a spot on 2nd and Cecil B. Moore, right around his gym.
Oh man, that was bad on that time.
Right. So, my boy Mike and I, we paid him like 3 months ahead. The white guy. Uh-huh. One day we just walk in and they're like, "I don't want your type of people here." I'm like,
my type of people.
What the fuck does that mean? Like, my type of people. I have all colors in here. Like, you know what I mean? So we got kicked out, and I told the guys, I'm like, listen, man, like, I'm doing my own thing. Like, I'm just doing this to help you guys. Y'all can go to my crib or do whatever. And we found a place. We called everybody on Craigslist. No, I don't want mixed martial arts here. That's too violent. And that was like 2012, around the same time.
Right.
The thing is, I didn't put a sign outside my business till like a year and a half later because I didn't want to own a business.
Right.
It was just
you just wanted a spot to be able to do what you were doing.
Yeah, a studio to like. We had like 2 fighters that were from another gym and they needed my help. So I said, listen, let's do this mat that you two can spar. I can watch what you do and all that stuff. So if you go to the old gym, if you see the old gym, the black mat, that's what I had. Because my intention wasn't to own a gym and run a team. Right. I had other stuff going on. So it grew naturally. You know?
Now, at that point, was it just boxing or were you...
No, I was doing everything.
You were doing everything.
Where did you learn
MMA from? Like the combination of striking?
Doing MMA in Philly at a different gym.
So, but you evolved basically from boxing...
Since like 2004 or 5.
From boxing into MMA?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm not a boxing coach.
Yeah.
I'll show you how to move for a MMA match. Okay. I'm not gonna sit there and make you throw 13 punches because in an MMA match, it's never gonna happen.
It's more about the setup. It's more about the setup, right?
Yeah, just stick and move, pick your angles, go in if you want, strike if you want.
And that was exactly what caught my attention on Zurich when I saw Zurich moving because I saw that he didn't have a boxing stance. He had a different stance. His legs were a little more open. He was not too sideways. Mm-hmm. And usually people that knows how to move like that, they have a boxing coach and a Muay Thai coach, and they mix both. They have to be smart enough to do that. One example, like when I came to Philly and we start to work with those fighters, Bozianis was the guy that was working with my guys because he used to teach at Julio's school already. Right. And he actually developed a way to teach boxing for MMA guys. And I remember I was training with him and I would get too sideways. He's like, no, you can't do that. People are going to kick your leg. Yeah. So this is what we want. Right. You know, it's adapting striking system to MMA because it's always evolving. And when I saw Zurich moving, I'm like, this is what I want to make my guys do. How can I do that? And that's when I went to ask him, who you train with? And I had no idea. And that was the conversation that started. Zurich was the first fighter that gets us together. We get together because he came to my school. And he came to learn jiu-jitsu.
Right, because he was a wrestler.
Yeah. He's wrestling. Again, remember, there's wrestlers and there's wrestlers on the wall. Right. Totally different. You can get a D1 wrestler, in the middle he's going to be dangerous. He can teach you. I can get one of my amateur guys that never wrestled before and put that guy on the wall and he's not going to know what to do. There is a science in there that is knowing how guys are going to react, that is body types. And we can give out our secrets, but there is a system.
Not even one. It
doesn't matter.
Give me something.
Look,
you got to give people a reason to watch, man.
Oh yeah, well, but again,
even if you're lying about it,
come to train with us. Now, in the wall, I'm telling you can be a D1 wrestler. You have to know what you're doing, and that's another thing that I start to understand that with a guy that for me he's still the best wrestling coach for MMA. Mm-hmm. His name is Dave Esposito. He's the head of The Edge in Hoboken.
Okay.
He's just the best, the best. I've been around wrestling coaches and wrestlers my whole life. You know, once you put them on the wall, it's again, and even in the middle, guy has to understand and open their mind for what's happening. They can't have a closed mind for that.
MMA is a different game.
And Dave Esposito, man, I was like, man, this guy like is amazing.
He gets it. Do you guys think that if you focus on one discipline a little bit too much, that can put you in danger? Like, is it finding the right balance of everything in order to be the best?
You have to, bro.
Because like a Connor who decided he wanted to be more in a boxing stance gets his calf kicked in, and then basically so you have to know.
That's why I mean
everything to keep it always
we
fluid.
do everything. We the way we schedule our training is just like that. You're not doing one thing all week. You know, you have to train everything. So
when it comes to like coming up with these combinations that I see yourself, you know, on Instagram or wherever, you know, doing, is that something you're plotting out ahead of time? You know, coming up with these sequences, or
no? Every fighter is different.
Yeah, and what is funny is that this is what I think, and I think he's gonna agree with me. Why we evolved so fast is because we adapt our classes according to what happened in the fights. So we come to the classes and we go, guys, I'm not seeing body shots. Let's train body shots. So the drills are gonna be to bring what we're missing during the fight.
Constantly filling in those little holes.
Yeah, and those
that's why we have
shows.
students that never fought before, but you probably go in and you say, how many fights that kid had?
Right.
And
None.
Everyone trains together, and every fighter is different. What I do with Eddie Torres, I don't do with Sean Brady. What I do with Sean Brady, I don't do with Pat, Will Tucker.
Just because you're focusing on their natural ability and specialty.
The body type is what dictates what you're gonna be good on it. Like you can't train a short, stocky guy like a tall, skinny one.
And that's what I think. Back in the day, like old school mindset of some coaches, I think was wrong. It was like everybody did boxing. It was like, well, this. Why are you switching stances? Why are you doing this?
Right. Same workouts every day. Same basically just fundamentals all the way on through.
You gotta have an open mind in this game.
Yeah.
Because MMA is evolving by the freaking week.
Yeah.
1 week you see one thing in a fight, and you're like, damn, what was that? And then the next week you see something.
Which is where I start feeling bad with people like a Cowboy or somebody like that who has a specific style, and then you kind of see all these young guys like just super diverse and bringing in all these new set of tools, and you're like, he's never going to be able to learn that at the speed at which they're learning it. So you kind of start seeing guys fading out a little bit, especially in the lower weight classes.
Like the switching stances and all that, now it's like a thing. Daniel and I have been doing this for I don't even know how long.
I see some things happening today, and people are like, oh, this is a great system, and he just invented that. I'm like, what?
We've been doing that for. If you go back on my page, you see it.
The ridiculous thing that I think is ridiculous when I see that, some guys that train with us and they go train where else, and then I see them using in a fight something that we taught them, and then they praise the new camp for that. I was like,
son of a
I want to go to the TV and punch them. I'm like, you kidding me? We've been working on that for 8 years. Now you're on another camp, and then it's exactly what we've been teaching you that you use.
Right.
But now, like, you know, again, like this is gonna happen. We know it's gonna happen. But every time I see it, I'm like, I get mad. I get pissed.
Right.
I get
Do
pissed.
you guys compare yourselves to like the AKAs or like these gyms that are like
100%? You know what we miss? Yeah. You know what we miss? The only thing we miss is the facility.
Right.
We don't have a facility that has everything. We don't have the facility that people live on it.
But also, doesn't that make you guys different and give more of that grit to the fighter?
That's what I'm about
fancy
to say.
shit doesn't necessarily make you a better fighter.
All these big gyms rely on big companies, right? Like these big companies giving them hundreds of thousands. You get your facility, it looks beautiful. But at the end of the day, if that budget gets cut, you getting cut, right? Now, you build your team, but you ain't build the heart, right?
Right.
Which is the facility. Us, we doing this shit from muscle, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And as a team, the whole team, from the fight promotions to the Joe Blow that just walked in to try MMA. We're doing this together. We don't rely on any big companies to pay our bills and give us a facility, give us mats, and
it's almost like everybody has a little ownership of what you guys have built.
That's it. We don't rely on big people to.
We still believe that the way to do it is paving the way instead of just getting some products ready and talk about it. Like with at least I think and John thinks the same thing, that we're gonna get fighters from other teams because they're seeing the results. Of course. That's the best way to promote yourself. Is like, okay, my guys are winning, people are gonna come train with me.
Yep.
That's a reality. But nowadays, because of internet and because of the social media, people talk, and no one goes to say, yo, I don't believe in what you're saying.
Right.
So I paved the way. I said jiu-jitsu is the best fighting system in the world. And since I was 16, people show up in my fucking gym to try to fight me. And I'll have to fight to prove my point. Today, if I go on camera right now and said, I'm a world champion in boxing, and I'm going to teach a new technique that no one in the world ever learned, some people are going to believe me and they're going to come to train with me. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to teach them some bullshit moves that is not going to work. But nobody's going to show up to try and challenge me on that.
Right.
Some people are going to believe, some people are going to say shit. It's going to be like something that people are going to talk about it. But no one is going to show up in my gym and say, I don't believe on that system. Right. Let's try. And this is the problem today. We only believe in something that it's proving to work.
Right.
Not talking. And this is the biggest problem that we have right now. It's because we're humble. We only believe in things that we've been working and they work on the fight.
Things that you're testing constantly.
Exactly. We could say right now, we could make a promotional video saying that we are the best in the world and we have a system that nobody has. And people are going to believe because our fighters are winning fights.
Right.
Now, is it true? Maybe. You're going to have to show up to see. You understand? So that's the main thing.
It sounds like you're selling DVDs when you say something like that.
Exactly. So that's the main
Nobody
thing.
has DVDs nowadays.
I know, but it sounds funny, right? When you think of the box set. Daniel's box set.
Yeah. Apps? No, what's the name? Yeah, apps. No, they have apps that show videos.
That's true. You can have an app.
Instructional.
Yeah.
My English is still...
Your English is great.
My English is good, but some words I can't say. There's a funny one I used to say all the time, like, escape.
Christ.
And he goes...
What is it? Escape?
Escape.
Yeah.
And he was screaming that one day.
He goes
for like an hour, and I'm like, what
he goes,
is
man,
he talking
what
about?
What are you saying? Why are you saying escape? I said, escape. And he goes, it's escape. There is an E. I'm like, it's not S.
I asked him, are you saying escape because of your accent? He was like, no, escape is escape from side control, right? And I'm like,
there's an E before the S.
What are you talking about, bro? I'm like, it's escape in the middle of the class. I'm like, bro, what are you saying?
That's
the
hilarious.
worst.
So I saw a video recently of you yelling at the whole class or not the class, but the team to break through the pads.
Yeah.
I love that aggressive kind of, nobody's... So, all right, so real quick. So you guys do offer like classes and stuff like that for regular people to be able to take or not?
Yeah. And I promise you, we're not that hard on them, okay?
No, I figure.
No, I'm kidding. We are.
No, that's great.
Everybody get the same treatment.
Well, that's good, but that's my point. So, like, I see that video, and I see your stuff too, and then I see that you guys also cater to that. Like, is that a balance that you have to strike, or you just say, hey, this is how we do it, whether you're a kid starting up or like a person who wants to get in shape, but you're part of this world?
Well, you see, this is exactly what I was talking about, the promotional business on the internet right now on social media, is that a lot of people are not showing the real thing and they're still making money. They have students. We do that. Yes, we want our school to have 1,000 students, but at the same time, we can't see someone punching the bag like this and stay quiet. My student,
where the guy's throwing like this, you're like, no, you got to lean in.
The thing is, we don't care if we're going to hurt people's feelings.
Right.
I don't care. He doesn't care.
You're protecting them anyway.
We will say, yo, this is what you're doing is wrong.
Right.
And they do the crying face, and we say, don't do the crying face. Just learn how to do it right. So I stop my jiu-jitsu classes all the time.
Yeah.
I show a position, I see them doing wrong. I'm like, stop! And they stop, and I go, you guys are going to give me a heart attack. I'm having a heart attack right now. Please, I'm going to teach you like I teach my kids. 1, you take your hand and you put it here. 2, move your leg this way. I make fun. And then on the end, they understand and they have fun. You know, but we can't see someone, you know, doing
making
wrong,
a mistake and allow it.
So we yell at them the same way. Of course, we push them different than we push the fighters.
Right.
Because reality is pushing the fighters is a like mental thing.
Yeah.
And we have to break through the limit.
Yeah.
We can't make them, if the fighter is getting tired and stopping, they're going to do that in the fight. If the fighter is getting punched in the face and running away, they're going to do that in the fight.
Right.
So we have to break through the limits.
There's guys that won fights, and after they announce they're the winners, we still come at their neck.
Yeah.
Because they didn't perform how they they should perform. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to say...
Eddie's over there.
Yeah, Eddie's one of them.
I'm not going to say names, but I'm telling you, there's guys that they just beat some, you know,
Right, they're
big
high.
names. And when we come in and I just say, you could finish this fight. They're like, what? You could finish this fight.
Right. But I think you need to do that too.
You can never win with you. I'm like, nope.
Like Eddie, was it the fight? Like two fights ago, right?
The Taekwondo stuff.
I was not on the corner. It was not on the corner. It was him and Sean.
His last fight.
Okay.
No, it was you.
This
You
guy
and Sean, you and
jumped-
Jonathan. It was
Me and
Sean.
Brady.
Yeah, you and Sean Brady.
Yeah.
And this guy fucking jumps guard in an MMA fight, right? And he won from on his back. He won striking, throwing submissions out.
Yeah.
So he gets to the corner. So when he did that, me and Sean's like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, what the fuck is that?" Right? So it wasn't long left on the round. He gets to the corner, and he'll tell you, "Bro, what the F you doing?" Like, he said something. I forgot what he said. I don't know if it was his hand hurt, something. I was like, stop being a bitch and win the fucking round. So he looks at Brady for some comfort. Brady's like, shut the fuck up and stop being a bitch. Go win the round. You know?
Right. What choice do you have? You got to do it.
Listen, we don't need to give them instruction every round. Right. Some fighters just need that mental push. Like,
yeah.
And it's not like, hey, good.
But there's nothing worse than when somebody goes to the corner and then, you know, the guy's like, oh, you're doing great. Keep it up. And everybody's thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? The guy's obviously
all the time. I was like, no, he's losing that fight. No, don't. That's not. That's the wrong message.
So
wrong message.
That was one. We do that with all the guys. If we're down, I'll tell you,
dude. I love the old school Trinidad. You know, dad smacking him in the face and saying, "Get out there." You know what I mean? Whatever you got to do to you know the guy, you know the fighter and what he needs.
It's a mental. It's a mental game. It is a mental game.
We had like the photographer for CFFC, Manny, right? He's hit me up before, like, yo, man, like, why you and Daniel talk to the guy like that after they win? And it was like, because they did a lot of stuff that they shouldn't, you know?
Right. So what's more important to both of you? For a fighter to go in there and perform at what you consider the best they could have done, or for them to get the win?
To me, if we lose, it better be because you went to war. Like, we would never lose because we're tired. That shit to us, because we put you through hell in camp.
Right.
You know, if you lose and you gave your all, you lose. You know, it's a fight.
Yeah.
Somebody gotta lose.
When the fighter was better than our fighter, I'm okay with that. Like I don't like it. I hate it.
Hurts,
he
bro.
hates it. It hurts. It hurts. It's like we lost.
Yeah.
But
probably even
at
more
the same
so,
time,
right?
at the same time, I'm satisfied because he put all in there and he couldn't win. Yeah. The other guy was better that night. Yeah. But when I see that the guy is not better than our fighter, and our fighter lose because of a lack of heart, or because he get tired,
mindset.
Let me tell you, if you see that we go hard on them during the fight, on the backstage they almost cry. because we have to.
What do you
because
guys?
That's the thing. When we break their mind like that, that's when we know who's a champion.
Yeah.
Right.
Who wants to be there?
We judge you when you're at your lowest, right?
Right.
Like me personally, I don't judge people when everything is going good in their life. I judge you when shit hits the fan because that's
how you react.
It brings out the real you, you know.
Right.
So, we've seen guys cry, tough motherfuckers cry like babies, and I'm like, he's gonna be a champion. You know what I mean?
Because he cares.
That's it.
Yeah.
And we put everything into this team, bro. You know, we miss time with our kids, birthdays, dinners. Like, I see this guy more than I see my own brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eddie, like, Sean, all the guys.
Yeah.
And we put our all, and we want those guys to win. I want everyone around me I want you to win.
Yeah.
I want everybody to win. You know what I mean? And it hurts when they take an L, bro. I take that shit home. He be like, yo, bro, it's all right, man. I'm like, fuck that, bro. Shit hurt. You know what I mean? But
it was like I always said that to the fighters. I always tell them that. I said, man, I'll prepare you the same way to a UFC fight. That if you come to me and said, I'm fighting this guy on the street,
right.
He's a bully and I'm gonna beat him up, I'll prepare you the same way.
Yeah.
Same way. There's no difference. Why I'm gonna prepare an amateur fighter different than I prepared a pro fighter?
Yeah.
Only the time. One fights 2 minutes, 3 minutes. The other one fights 5 minutes.
Right.
One can punch the face on the floor. The other one can. But the preparation, the psychological preparation, and physical preparation and techniques, it's everything the same.
Yeah.
Everything the same. We want our amateur guys to go there, and people were like, "Whoa, that guy's amateur?
Yeah.
Is his first fight?"
that happened to Zurich. Zurich, the commissioner said, I'm not going to allow this guy to fight
To fight amateur because he was too good. Like, or
he only had like
He was
4
too
fights.
good. Yeah, he was too good.
He's like,
what a great way to know that it's time for you to maybe switch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So,
Wow. What do you guys think about the notion of not being able to show up on fight night? Like, you know, how some fighters say, like, it just wasn't there. Like, I felt great, and then as soon as I walked out...
A lot of these guys go through a lot of shit in life. And if you don't know, like, how to manage your issues and keep that shit separated from the fight, it's going to get you. It's going to creep up. It could creep up in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
You know? And we understand. I understand that.
Yeah.
You have to turn off your personal life sometimes if that's your profession, if that's what you want to do for life.
Some people ask, what do you say to the fighters before they go to the cage? Eddie will tell you, I'll whisper in the ear, be a fucking savage.
Yeah.
You know? That's it.
You know what I say sometimes? I said, you can call it sport, you can call MMA, motherfucker, this is a fucking fight.
It's a fight.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sport, people are not trying to break your
kill
fucking
you.
bones. They're not trying to knock you out. No, this is not a sport, okay? Yes, there is rules now, there is time limit, everything, but it's still a fight, okay?
Yeah.
So go there and make the motherfucker regret from being on the other side on the cage with you. That's it. So that's how I want them to go in. They go in like, yeah, I got this. They're looking at the other side and like, man,
You're fucking pumping me up right now. I'm not doing anything but sitting here.
This is what it is. So I'm telling you, like, sometimes I have commissioners from Las Vegas, from Miami, like all the places that we take our guys.
Uh-huh.
They come to me and say, man, I want to fight when I see you talking to them. I'm like, that's it. Because this is what it is. You can compare adrenaline to any sport in the world. Jumping. My cousins like to skydive. I'm telling you, nothing is like the adrenaline when you step in the cage.
Right.
Nothing. On my mind, it's. I remember fighting, and I literally had the image in my head. If I start to get beat up, if I was gonna bite the guy.
If you were gonna bite the guy?
Bite. Yeah. That's how
right, that you were in the moment.
How strong I was on that moment. Of course I know I'm not gonna bite.
Right.
But just making me think that I know that I want to win that fight.
Right.
It's also a balance too.
Because you can't go too hard too fast.
Like
of course.
fight week, the guys will tell you like we're two clowns, bro. You know, like everyone think that like we're these two mean ass guys that only want you to break people's skulls and stuff like. No, we're two clowns and we have fun all fight week.
Right.
All fight week.
Oh yeah.
So we're trying to keep the fight out of the guy's head until it's time to get in the cage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's funny because we see other camps. So like sometimes we are on the same locker room that other camps. They're all serious. They're all like
Tense.
Someone
Tense,
died,
bro.
And we're just making fun of everyone and with like teasing each other. You know, like it looks like it's so much fun when we're there because it breaks that adrenaline a little bit until it's time to fight. It's time to fight now. Now once you.
Yeah, but the last thing you need is to have nerves for hours before the fight.
Oh, that's the worst.
And just be tensed up until,
That's the worst.
Yeah.
So like Pat, we saw Pat like, yo, what up, white boy? And then like he throw a smile and we're like, all right.
There's a funny image that he took a picture before Sean's last fight on the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Sean sleeping.
One
by the other.
I was trying to catch when you was throwing your leg over.
No, I was not.
Did you miss it?
I missed that shit.
we fell asleep like hours before his fight. You know.
Tell me about the sleeping before the fights, because a lot of fighters swear by taking those naps before it's time to show up. Is that a good thing?
We send them. So we do a shakeout. After the shakeout, eat something, go to sleep for a couple hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for what reason? Aside from the physical reason, is it just to calm everything down?
Yeah,
or is it to give them like a fresh?
Yeah. They stay up. They're thinking about the fight.
Sometimes
you know what I mean?
your brain rests when you sleep. It's hard to do it when you're like waking up. It doesn't matter. I'm sitting over here. I'm relaxing, but my brain is not relaxing.
And you're draining yourself just by thinking.
Exactly. So what happened is on that special fight day, that there's too much adrenaline. If they don't relax the brain, when they go there to fight, they don't follow instructions. They're too nervous, and then sometimes some fighters are like, I don't even know what you guys said. I couldn't hear anything. Right. And that's the last thing we want. Yeah. Like you asking guy like circle, move your head, do something, and he's not doing. And this happens a lot. And then that's when. And that's because
the nerves.
Yell at them.
Because they're zoned out and they're just
zoned out.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a fighter who, come like the moment they were about to go in, their nerves just get the best of them? Or do you have you not at least had to experience that?
A lot of them, but not. We don't have anyone that
happens more in the fight.
Yeah,
in the middle of the fight.
In the middle of the fight.
Yeah, like
really.
Like they start off good, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? Like what's happening?
Is it from feeling something from the other guy, or is it that reality kind of?
We just had a couple guys lose, right? And we feel like it was Cage Russ and mine.
Well, one example, it's Manny Morales. Manny, if you see Manny at the gym training, you think that he's a UFC fighter, top 15 in the world. He can, at 185, 170, he can beat a lot of top fighters, pro fighters, in the gym. Like winning every round, moving, doing.
Goes hard.
Goes to fight. And you know what I tell him all the time? Please, just fight the way you spar.
Right.
Fight the way you train at the academy,
pretend
please.
you're in the gym. Yeah.
He can. He gets there. He gets nervous. He becomes a wrestler because that's his background.
For safety.
And and then a lot of people, that happened to a lot of people. Until you get the stage that you're gonna overcome that.
He's getting better though.
He's
getting better because he was.
And it's one of those things that you're not going to be able to fix unless you're going into those situations.
Yeah,
because
we can't fix
that, and he can't fix it in the
just
gym
like
either.
We can't teach. I cannot teach a guy to have heart. There's no way.
Yeah,
you can't teach somebody to have heart.
Yeah,
that's just in you, and you have to train yourself or grow that.
So paint me the picture of what it's like with you two when you're with somebody like a Pat. Which was the most recent, I guess, fight, right? When you're doing the weight cut part. Like, what is that, when you're trying to help him stay? Because he told me a little bit about how you guys, you lied to him a lot. Yeah. And he knew you were lying to him, but he didn't want to, focus on that.
It's like a circus, but like a serious circus. Like,
right.
We're trying to joke around, not make them think about the weight cut so much.
Right.
Lie to them a little bit. You got 4 minutes when you really have like 6.
Yeah.
The stress about cutting weight is worse than the stress of the fight. 10 times worse, because we know that that can play in the result of the fight.
Yeah.
If the guy has a bad cut, the probability of the fight not being the way we want, it's huge.
The first fight in the UFC he had that the guy didn't
missed weight like 10 pounds or something ridiculous.
Sean had a fight. So Daniel left early with Pat. I stood behind helping Sean. Then I went like Thursday, I think, something like that. Bro, when I got there, Daniel's like, bro, get ready because this shit is tough. So, of course, I didn't show Pat. But when I saw him, I'm like, God damn.
Because he looked big? Or because he looked beat up?
Yeah, he had 1 week to cut
26.
Oh, that's true, because it was a short notice.
Pounds.
Yeah.
So, we in the room cutting, and we're there like not letting him know this shit is real tough. Like it's hard to watch, you know.
And just because they don't look good, or because you know that they're not losing at the speed that they're losing.
He's losing, but bro, imagine losing 7 pounds in an hour. You know, like
no,
I
can gain 7 pounds in an hour.
Exactly, but like, your body, bro, it reacts crazy. Yeah. So you know,
walked
out the room, me, Eric, and Dan like, holy shit. But he was in there. It was all positive energy.
Yeah,
you know, you gotta know when to play.
We can't give. That's the thing. We can't give them the chance to give up.
Right.
We don't give them the chance. Okay.
Right.
Like they're like,
Pat has the finger on the zipper. 3, 2. He just runs out.
Just jump out of the sauna.
Runs out.
Really?
And then I will close, and he was like, "Let me stay 5 minutes on outside." I'm like, 3, and he goes, "I'm 5." I'm like, "No, 3."
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm gonna stay 5 in." I'm like, "Yeah." And then he'll go in. I'm like, 10. And he goes,
5.
"No, I can't." I'm like, "No, 10." And he goes, No, let's say 5. I'm like, okay, 5, but then it's 3 outside. So we like it makes
it's a negotiation or like
it's
a game.
fun. It's fun because breaks he's not thinking about it. And that's when he went to stay 5 minutes, and the 5 minutes was gone, and there was already 7.
And he wanted
3.
Goes, right.
How long will we still have? I'm like, 2 more minutes. So he stayed the 10 minutes, but he didn't know. On that point, he has no idea.
You're not fucking doing math at that point. You're trying to survive.
Yeah, he was cutting weight. I'm on the phone, and I see his opponent talking shit. So Danny was like talking to Pat. Eric's like, I show Eric, and Eric's like, donuts, they're good. But it was the whole time it was the guy talking shit.
Yeah.
And Pat's like, is that him? And we're like, no, we're talking about donuts. It was his
That's
opponent.
even more fucked up. Talking about donuts while he's cutting weight.
He literally said that. We're talking about food. We're talking about donuts. That's exactly what he said.
That's just mean.
We can't let him know that the guy talking shit while he feels like shit, you know?
Right. So, you don't think that would have helped him push harder? It would have just discouraged him a little
frustrated, you know?
Yeah.
You really...
Yeah, imagine like you want to fight, you're getting ready for a fight, but then you show someone challenging you.
The stages too.
You feel like shit.
Right. The stage is like, is this, we just stay in the training stage, then is the weight cut stage.
Yeah.
Don't think about the fight. Let's get through this shit first, and then fight day, you think about the fight. Let's start visualizing the win. And
so what's your evaluation of Pat in his last performance? Because I thought it was cool to see him go all the distance, first of all, on his first fight in the UFC.
That's the thing. I'm not going to complain. He could do better. Yes. His striking was on point. His jiu-jitsu was on point. He didn't push harder. Okay.
For the submission?
Yeah. He could finish that fight.
Yeah.
Since the first round. He could finish that fight. Okay?
Yeah, he told me yesterday.
Yeah,
at the gym. He was at the gym.
It was his first fight. You know, like
there was several situations where I'm like, oh, he can take it now.
Yeah,
but then the guy will slip out
he's trying to keep the position instead of losing the position.
Yeah,
you know? You trying to keep sick, win the round.
You can tell that he was controlling. He was controlling the fight.
Yeah.
There's a difference in between going to finish the fight and controlling the fight to not lose. He didn't lose 1 second off that fight on the first and the second round. And then the second round, he started to walk. He started to circle. And he'll throw 1 or 2 punches and then he'll circle. And then he'll hold and not try to take the guy down.
That's not adrenaline.
That's not Pat.
He had the adrenaline dump,
you know?
man.
And
is that what it was?
Yeah. And to tell you the truth, at the same time that I want him to finish, and we're pushing him forward. Yeah. Go, throw the punch, finish, take him off. We still are like, okay, we did okay.
Yeah.
No, that's enough to get in first fight. Now let's display a win. Now
well, he drops the guy.
First
round, right?
He hurt him. Yeah. Well, because he dropped him and then he jumped on top of him.
Right. He looks at the corner, bro. I think he had like over and under. He looks at the corner and says, what happened?
What happened? He's not even.
Where?
The other guy says this to his
No,
corner.
He
Pat
looked
says
at
to you what
us.
happened?
Yeah.
He didn't even know he could clip
He
him?
didn't. He had no idea.
Bro, we going, Eric, Daniel, and I going crazy in the corner.
Punch again! Punch again! The guy was like looking all over. I could tell that he was feeling the punch. So two more hits, he'd be out. But he had no idea.
Fuck you mean, what happened? Finish this motherfucker, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Having conversations in the middle of the fight.
Right. Does Pat talk more to you in the octagon than outside the octagon? Because Pat is a very quiet gentleman.
He's few words. But he actually, like, he's one of the, like, very alert fighters that we have. Like, in between rounds, he's answering back. He grabs some
comes
water.
to the corner, He listens and he responds to us when we ask him.
Some guys, you got to be like, what did I just say?
Yeah.
But Pat is, like, listening. He looks around, like.
Well, it was awesome to hear all the commentators, everybody, like, just praising him. Everything he was doing was good.
Man, that
he
guy
didn't
was
lose
big.
a second of that fight at all.
Tristan was big.
That was a big boy.
Yeah, when he came next day, he surprised us with this.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not gonna tell Pat, but in between us, we go like, man, look at this. His shoulder
like
was like
180.
His shoulder was like this. I'm like,
Well, because he fights at a higher weight usually,
he
right?
fought at 170.
Yeah.
He
55,
fought at 170. That's
fought at
2
55.
divisions up. You know.
I love all the stuff that you guys have to keep to each other.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
a
I mean?
lot.
All the shit you have to hide from the fighters just to make them win. That's hilarious. What do we got here, Gabby? We got this is an example of practicing the right strikes.
And I also question from our studio audience today.
Is this coming from Eddie? Or from you?
So I just want to ask Daniel about spreading the chicken.
Oh, okay. I can't tell.
Is this appropriate for our listeners?
It is. So spread the chicken is a position.
You gotta say the story.
Oh, we gotta talk about
Chicken with Kenny.
Kenny.
Remember that when I say spread the chicken? What do you thought? Grab the chicken? No.
No.
I go,
So our guy was not. So he's like.
Yeah, take it from the beginning so I understand.
Our guy took the guy's back. Daniel starts screaming from the top of his lungs, spread the chicken, which is put the hooks in.
Spread the
So, you know, you spread the chicken, you open it up.
Yeah.
That's what he means, spread the chicken,
I was
right?
like, put the hooks in and
open up.
put your hips
Put
forward
your hips
to
down.
open the guy.
Flatten it out. Flatten
Like
him
when
out,
you
yeah.
put the
Cut
chicken
chicken
and
and
you
split it
open the
open.
chicken, yeah.
So he's
like,
screaming.
spread the chicken. And then
I just started making the noises.
he started to go like,
Yo, this is the battle.
you know how many times?
Bro, there's
No.
going on.
Look,
And Kenny takes the guy down. You gotta hear the story. So, Kenny takes the guy down.
Yeah.
Close to the corner, right? So I'm keeping the time for them. And then he's like, Kenny. And he's right to the cage. And he's like, Kenny, spread the chicken. Like nice and calm. And Coach like, Kenny, motherfucker, spread the chicken. Spread the chicken. Then he goes again, spread the chicken. Coach John goes, motherfucker, motherfucker. Finish this fucking guy. We got more people fighting.
That night we had like 6 guys fighting.
Bro.
And you could finish,
Oh my
like
God,
Daniel's
that's hilarious.
letting you know you can finish this guy right now. So I said, yo, hurry the fuck up.
He's not getting it.
Finish this guy. I gotta go warm up 4 other guys.
Yeah,
Come
4
on. Like, what are you doing? Finish this
Even
already.
that plays a point. Like how many fighters you have fighting that night. You know the guy can get it done. It's like get it done so we
Yeah,
can move
so
on to the
like,
next.
we try to do everything possible for him to understand what we're talking
Now
about.
is spreading the chicken a common term in the gym that you guys?
No, in Brazil. I just used the perfect.
But did he
term.
know at that
The
moment what it
perfect
meant?
Oh, they all know now.
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
Because poor guy,
Well,
if he's
now it's not
if
a
he's
secret.
there, and he's
Look,
like, spread the fucking chicken.
So
Whatever.
now it's not a secret anymore because the other day, Paul Felder was commentating on the UFC and he said, "Yeah, Coach Daniel actually said this position because spread the chicken."
Felder called you out.
So now,
There you go, Felder. Now everybody knows that you got to come up with a new one. Oh my god, that's
it's a
hilarious.
perfect translation.
You can
We're
do
saying-
bread the
It
chicken.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Bread the chicken.
Now you gotta start. Now you gotta start walking back and forth like this or this. Mix it up.
Well, bro, he was screaming that for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this fucking guy don't understand. I'm gonna just do the
I'm gonna just
noises.
start
It's like a book, right? You read and then you press the button.
Right. The kid's
dog
not
bark,
understanding.
rah, rah.
Yo, bro,
Spread the chicken. I just started
I was
screaming like a
taking the
chicken.
time, I was so confused. I didn't know if I should laugh, cry, or just.
Yeah, he had a Versace
right.
shoe on and then a Versace suit on.
Oh, yeah,
chilling
no,
with two
that was a
two
good suit.
weirdos. You know, like spread the chicken and
This
the
got the
other
suit.
guys like screaming noises.
This motherfucker's like,
Listen, we do anything to
Anything
get
to win the
win.
fight.
Yeah, he won. He
he
won.
won the fight.
He won the
Fantastic.
fight.
He didn't spread the chicken.
He didn't spread the chicken.
He won the fight.
Yeah.
Let him down with the chicken.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
Esau was another one in New York. Come to the corner. I can't feel my legs. So,
He told you that?
yes. Well, fuck. You got to fight. You got another 2 rounds. He'll tell you. He tried to put his legs up on me. I'm like, get that
his legs
shit.
over Coach Jones' legs, and Coach Jones like, get his leg over there.
Look at that shit out of here. What you talking about? You ain't tired. Get up.
I can't feel. What round was that?
That was at the end of the first. They had an
Another
adrenaline
adrenaline.
dump. Yeah.
My
I
God.
can't feel my legs, John. I'm like, give a fuck. You got 2 more rounds. Listen, this is what you're going to do. Yeah.
Shit. Listen, I love the dynamic that you guys have, and I think it carries out with everybody. So keep doing your shit because it's obviously working. As far as the fighters, I mean, there's very well-known fighters that you guys have that are out there just killing it. Who, you know, I know there's too many fighters, and you're not going to pick, you know, but you have a couple guys that you know that in the next couple fights are just going to hit it big. Like where are you guys at with that?
Yeah, definitely. Zurich already have the
belt.
the Cage Fury champion, the Cage Fury belt. He's one that I think is gonna go.
You think he goes pro?
High, soon.
I mean, not pro. He gets the call soon.
Yeah, especially because there's not a lot of people from Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
You know, with that level. And there's a lot of short notice fights now happening.
It's a benefit for all these guys.
He's always ready.
Yeah.
Another one.
Oh, I offered him a whiskey. He said, "I don't drink."
So another one that we don't know why he's not there yet. Then I think he would be Jeremiah Wells.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Wells.
Yeah.
Again, like he should be there already.
Yeah.
You know, I see that 170 division, and man, there's so many guys, so many that I look at him like, man.
Well, he got like.
Why is he not there?
I think he got 2 fights.
He get 2 fights, but one turned him down.
They hit
They
Rob.
offered him 2 fights.
Yeah, they hit Rob up. We're getting to Mississippi. They hit Rob up.
Okay.
Like, listen, with the name, Rob look at me and Daniel, and we're like, and Jeremiah's in the back.
That's
like,
a funny. No, there's a funny story.
They offer him Kamza.
Yeah, there's a funny story.
Oh, really?
There's a funny
And this
story.
one he was before COVID, so he was like in the hype train.
That's
no,
what
there was,
Mississippi
no, there
card.
was when COVID hit.
No, but I'm saying Kazmat wasn't. Remember, he got COVID and then went down. But before that, he was like shooting up.
Right
didn't have
there,
COVID.
they turned Jeremiah down.
No, this
Well,
was
they turned him
before, but wasn't it? I think the guy is Brazilian. The second fight was when we actually get an RV to Mississippi for Cage Fury, and on the way there, we're stopping to eat, and Jeremiah is eating pizza.
He told me about this. Yeah.
Drinking
Chick-fil-A or
whatever,
something. He was
like, and we are Jeremiah. Stay light, man. I'm telling you, you might get the call. And he's like, yeah, I can lose weight, man. So we get to.
Is that Jeremiah, friend?
Yeah, that's it. Wait, oh yeah, his voice is not like it's like an angry face. Like you look at him, he's so scared. Man, he talks so soft like this.
Mike Tyson.
We get there. Yeah.
It worked
We
for him.
get there, and literally we park the car, we park the RV, and then Rob goes, "Uh-oh." I'm like, "What?" Jeremiah. I'm like, "What?"
You fucking kidding me?
You got to fight. I'm like,
Your body ever got cold?
I start to yell.
That's what happened to
Everything
Rob.
just drops out.
So
And
I
it
go,
was hot
I
as
go,
shit outside.
I told you. Why are you eating pizza? And he goes, what? I'm like, you got to fight, motherfucker. And he goes, what? I'm like, you got to fight. Right now, let's go.
Yo,
Couldn't
well,
wait.
he lost like
Man.
16 pounds, right? In a couple hours?
Not in a couple hours, but like from one day to the other. Like in a couple hours, he lost like 9 pounds in a couple hours. And then he's a
Crazy,
freak. Like, come on, you
bro.
look at him. He's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's a freak. So from that time to the next day, I think 18 pounds to the next day.
What a beast.
And we put him to do pads. And
We were in the
drills
parking lot, in the
on the
parking lot.
parking lot of Mississippi.
Hot as shit.
Hot, like I don't know, 90
Sauna
something
suit
degrees.
on.
Sauna suit on, and he made it. He was gonna make weight. We already sending passport and things to get the tickets to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then, man, hours before we jump in the airplane to go to Las Vegas, the guy that he's supposed to fight got COVID. It was not nice.
That's not
we
cool
were-
at all.
But it was funny that, I was kind of like predicting. I was like,
Yeah.
stop eating pizza. Stay light. The whole trip, I was saying, stop eating that. Why are you eating pizza? He goes, yeah, I can lose weight. I can lose weight. I'm like, yeah, okay, now you're gonna have to suffer.
Yeah. Well, I guess when you have that many muscles, it's easier to cut the water weight, right? Shit.
Yeah. No. And again, we have amateur guys that are on that level, but it's gonna take a little bit for them to go up. On name an event.
Yeah.
But
one thing we try to tell our guys is just ride the wave. Like, of course you want to be in the UFC or whatever.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah. Just that'll come to you.
Yeah.
I told Eddie can tell you. I told him. I say, yo, motherfucker, we have to rush. You're getting old. We need to get you in the
right. You're like stopping doing the wave. You gotta we need to get you. The wave's crashing.
It's no time. Get on the jet ski.
Yeah. Sometimes they send us opponents and for Eddie, and I just go, yeah. And they're like, well, you're not even like seeing the guy. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. We have no time to choose an opponent.
You told me you're fighting when? In May?
May 28th.
Yeah.
May 28th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once I make weight, that means I cut 44.9 pounds.
Yeah, he walks around my weight, and then he wants to fight at 155,
Why do you do
145.
this to yourself, man?
I have no clue.
Because he's Puerto Rican.
Oh, I know.
You be like 200 pounds. I'm in shape.
Food.
Yeah, motherfucker. You fight at 45. You don't fight at 70.
Right.
You're not in shape.
He's like, no, it's a reasonable cut. Yeah, for
I got a
somebody else.
six-pack. Yeah, you got a six-pack for a 200-pounder.
Right.
But the weight cut, right? I always cut weight before I was with Daniel and Coach John. I basically kind of had a team, not really.
Yeah.
So my weight cuts were horrible. Like I would do the tub, pass out on the tub. So one of my first fights we done was one of my first pro fights. That was after I fought in Virginia. The weight cut was my easiest weight cut, and I literally had to cut the same weight. So I told Coach John, I'm like, I'm doing the tub. He was like, the fuck you ain't. He was like, you're not doing the tub. He was like, follow my instructions. You're gonna make the weight. We had another teammate that didn't follow the instructions. Mm. So I came in like 15 pounds over. My other teammate had like 9 pounds over. So I followed his instruction, Daniel, Coach John, they told me what to do. The night that I left the sauna, I was only 8 ounces over. Wow. And my teammate still was 4 pounds over.
Wow.
Because he didn't follow directions.
Right.
So from that moment on, whatever they say, I just do and shut the hell up.
Except getting to 200 pounds.
Exactly.
Dieting properly.
And cutting that fucking man bun.
Yeah.
And cutting the man bun? Is that 5 extra pounds?
He knows that's not going to happen.
So the tub is the last thing that we use. It's like let's say you hit a plateau, you can't lose weight anymore, then we use the tub. The tub would drain your soul, your brain, your organs.
Right.
So it's
Do you guys ever get scared that you're pushing your fighter too hard, and like
we kind of like know when it's dangerous.
Symptoms of when they're getting a little too cold.
We have a funny story. Like first time Jamie Colleen did the camp with me and John together.
It was Contender Series, right?
It was Contender Series. So we were in Las Vegas and we had to do the tub. She couldn't cut anymore on the sauna, so we go to the tub. And she's like, I can't do it anymore. So she's like passing out, but she's passing out, driving herself out of the tub. And I go, I hold her and I push her into the tub. I'm like, stay there for a few more minutes. And she's like, I can't. And she's like, and then
I was in there
Mike goes.
Witnessing this
she's gonna pass out. I'm like, I hold her shoulder and I look at Mike. I'm like, have you seen anyone passing out inside of the tub, outside of the tub? Yeah. If she passes out, she's gonna pass out inside of the water. She's not gonna pass out jumping out of the tub.
She was climbing out the tub.
Stay there for a few more minutes.
Oh my god!
He put 2 fingers on her head.
I just put I go like this.
I was like, I'm gonna leave this bathroom right now. I don't want.
He started to laugh.
Who's the tougher one in those situations? Is it you?
I think he is.
Yeah. Cutting weight.
Meaning like you'll push even harder.
I never. I'm gonna tell you, there was some fighters that I helped that didn't make weight. Our fighters never, because we both think is the same. The most disrespectful thing, I think there's scumbags from. I'm talking about if someone really trying to cut weight and he can't make it, no problem. I'm still gonna say you're a motherfucker, but I'm okay. But there's guys, I'm telling
Who
you,
do it on purpose.
they go there, they do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they missed like a whole weight class.
One example was Pat.
Yeah.
Pat. Like 1 week to make weight, he's dying. You know, you see your fighter struggling like that to make weight. The guy came 12 pounds over.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
This is
He didn't
disrespectful. He didn't try to lose weight. Reality.
Was he trying to get out of the fight, or was he?
No, he
Or
was
was he
expecting.
just gonna go in there big?
He was expecting to go to the fight, feeling strong, feeling hydrated, against a guy
Somebody who's
that
dangerous.
struggle. It makes a huge
Bro, he
difference.
missed weight for 55.
Right. He missed a weight class up.
So it's like
Is
really
disrespectful,
missing weight.
and I think something should be done to the people that can't make weight.
Yeah.
If you can't make weight, don't put your name to fight on that weight division. Go
Right.
one above, get stronger, eat more, drink more. I don't care, but make weight.
Right.
You know, because it's disrespectful to your opponent. If both of you are struggling and you can't make weight, you have like 1 pound, 1.5 pound. I'm gonna be mad at you, but I respect that you at least try.
Right.
But when you come that much heavier than the other fighter, you didn't try. You know, like this is one thing that I hate on the MMA game is that they do that, and nobody does anything. No commission are fighting against that.
Right.
I think the same way they are punishing people from juicing, from
USADA, that
taking
type of shit,
any medication that USADA doesn't allow. Why the guy is allowed to come
cheat in a different way.
heavier and cheating without trying to cut weight? You know, that's something that it needs to get changed right now. This needs to change right now.
Right. I agree, man. Any quick current events before we wrap this up, Gabby?
Let's see. We can talk about Eddie Alvarez and one championship. Let's see. Or
So this just happened. Eddie Alvarez goes in quick after his last fight with a DQ that got overturned, and he fights. I missed the fight, but I caught up this morning with it. Gets dropped in the first round, looks pretty good otherwise, and then doesn't get the W. Did you guys see it or hear about it? Or
it's weird the way they scored over there because
they don't score per round, right?
Right, like he was putting pressure. I mean, that was a tight fight. But he was putting the pressure. He was moving forward, and he had the guys against the cage the whole time. I mean, he got caught a couple times, but it's just weird how they score fights over there. You know,
it's the level of is the level of fighters in one, you think, the same or better than the UFC?
No, they're about the same. The thing is, their wrestling and jiu-jitsu. You can get some fighters that know, but they're not. They're more strikers. If you see, most of them are good Muay Thai, good kickboxing, good boxing.
Yeah.
The wrestling and the jiu-jitsu is still strong, especially guys that live in Singapore because Evolve has been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And they train jiu-jitsu and wrestling. But most of Asian fighters around the area, they don't have that much wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But the thing is, what I see there is a lot of technical fighters striking wise, and you can be a brawler. And everybody knows Eddie is a great boxer.
Yeah.
But he likes to get hit.
Yeah.
It's always like when people are like, oh, Eddie get dropped and came back and knocked the guy out. This is normal.
That's what he does.
You see every fight he does the same.
Yeah.
And that's why people love him.
Of course.
That's why people love to see him fighting. So I watch not the whole fight. I watch a little bit of the fights. The fight, but I watch the most important parts of the fight, and I think he won. But the problem is on that level, okay, it's hard to judge unless you have a very precise win against your opponent.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
and I think
when people are doubt,
right.
You know, it's what
and I think it's just a different market too. You know, they're trying to obviously grow the market on that side of the world. You know, you got the American company.
Yeah, it's good for Asian fighters.
They don't have home field advantage.
Yeah, it's come on.
You know, it's the same thing. Like if a Brazilian is fighting, you know, whoever, like an American, the fight is in Brazil, and the fight is very tough to judge. Of course,
Brazilian's gonna
of
win
course,
for sure.
yeah. Come on, they're Asian.
Yeah, but they also have
judges
these judges that.
Yeah.
I know this lady that worked for Pico Energy, that was like the lady is a boxing judge.
Yeah.
How the fuck is that possible? You know, like, what do you take a test and you're a judge now?
Right.
How, like, it's crazy to me, you know?
Yeah. Well, the level of the judging and the referee, like the way they get in there and what the backgrounds need to be, and
the reality is, there's the old saying: don't leave it to the judges.
Exactly.
You know, if you want
spread the chicken.
Exactly. If you want to complain, don't leave it to the judges.
Exactly.
You know, you understand? Like
Exactly.
then you don't.
Yeah,
have
Eddie's something. He don't have nothing to prove. Eddie don't have nothing to prove.
No, he's done it.
This guy done so much for the sport, the city.
He pushed
all of
forward,
us, you know, and
he's not a guy that you can say. Of course, he was trying to.
and that guy was big as shit too.
Yeah.
That guy, okay, what was his name? Okay.
Yeah,
He was humongous. I think his
I
last
was
name
surprised.
Okay.
I not even knew that he was fighting again, like in such a short
I knew
time.
he was fighting quick,
I had
but
no
it wasn't
idea.
until she messaged me and I'm like, last night this happened?
I had no idea. I had no idea that he was fighting that
Very
that
quick
early.
turnaround. Yeah.
After that, you know, emotional stress, I was surprised.
Yeah.
We were talking at Pat's weigh-in, and he was ready to go. He was, you know, he told me his piece about how he felt with the whole situation, but that thank God it was a no contest, bro.
Yeah, because that was ridiculous.
They would have left that shit.
That was ridiculous, yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was not. It was not.
I think one punch maybe slid a little bit farther.
one-
And that's because the guy
one-
turned
one
his
punch.
head.
Because he started to turn his
Everything else
head
was
and make
under-
noise.
Right.
You know,
nah,
And
come on.
it's supposed to be that if you turn your head, you're the one.
That's your
Technically,
fault.
when you-
That's your
No,
fault.
that's
You putting
your fault.
yourself.
Yeah,
You putting yourself
exactly.
in that situation. You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was bullshit.
Well, listen, guys. You guys are the new dream team. I appreciate you guys blessing the show together.
Thank you.
You're the first double guest on the show, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
So we had some technical difficulties with my mic again. I'm gonna quit this mic, but otherwise, great episode. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank
Pleasure.
you for actually giving us the space, to talk about our team.
Yeah, man.
And
This is. I keep on saying it. This is your home, man.
Soon, we're gonna be big. It's just like like Coach Arnold was saying,
big.
like he's not
This
big
is
like
not
this.
recorded, right?
Not big like this. I'm talking about big team. But
Can you take a picture of us?
soon we will be where we should be.
I think you guys are. But here's the thing. I think you guys are moving at such
We're
a
moving
fast
fast.
pace.
We're moving fast. We're moving fast.
Because in the little bit that I've been doing this, it's like.
It's just
Like,
unfortunately, we don't. Like I said, we don't have the facility.
And listen, we don't care about the
like
clout.
the facilities better.
We don't care about the clout. That's my page is private.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I
how
told
many
him. I said
requests
it's
I
no
have.
good.
Can you make it public? I keep
Bro,
telling everybody
I
this. You're
I'm
driving me crazy.
I'm
with
trying to repost his shit. I can.
Yeah.
I don't care about that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I need to grow our shit so that way people watch the show. So please go public and help me.
Yes, exactly. You need to have followers.
All right, let's take a quick picture.